as nowadays, Leonardo, almost all people in the world they experience stress. And well, is there a way for us to come out of stress, to find a solution?
People think that stress is the problem because people can feel it. Then they think that because of their work they are stressed and they feel stress. Actually, they are talking about mental stress and they don't want it. But they want desires. But they don't want stress. They have their own desires. They have their own attachments. They need everything. But they don't want to be stressed. They don't want the effect. But they want causes. How can we stop this? This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody wants to have a desire, a burning desire. Everyone loves it. Everybody wants to have it. Because of that, your mind will be stressed. But everyone doesn't like it. Everyone doesn't want it. Nobody wants it. How can we stop this? It's two sides of same coin. And how can we have one side and not have the other side? Therefore, if you want to come out of this stress, then you need to eradicate your desires. But the problem is, how can you eradicate your desires? Because desires are created in your mind. Sometimes you don't want it. When you listen to other people, when you see other people, you take their views. When a view comes to your mind, a desire is created. Then your mind is vexed. When the mind is vexed, the mind wants to do something to come out of it. Now, mind is stressed because it has to do something to come out of it. Sometimes it has limited time. Sometimes it has limited resources. Somehow it has to come out of it. Then stress is created in the mind. Mind is so destitute, ladies and gentlemen. Because when it has a desire, it is so destitute. But the problem is, the mind believes that desires are good. Having a desire is fantastic. That's how the mind believes. That's the ignorance. And if you don't do something to that ignorance, then mind will believe this. Then it will take more views from other people. And desires are created accordingly. Even though you have a method to solve your problems, let's say, even though you have a method to solve your problem, that can be only one problem. You are stressed because of that problem. Then you will have another one. Then you solve that one also. Then you will have another one. Because you open the door Views come to your mind all the time because you believe that this world is pleasurable. When you believe that this world is pleasurable, when a view comes to your mind accepts it because of that belief. When the mind accepts it, a desire is created. Then you will be stressed. Then you will go to a psychiatrist. Then he will give you some medicine, or he will give you a stress ball. Let's assume that you use that stress ball or you use that medicine and you decrease it. Now you are not vexed or now you are not stressed. Let's assume that. But in the next minute, what will happen? Then you will get another being. Because you think that this world is pleasurable, therefore you are ready to take all the views from other people. Then again you are stressed. Then again you have to use that stress ball. When can you leave that stress ball? Therefore, if you need a permanent solution for this, you need to listen to the Dhamma. Without the Dhamma, you can't find any solution. I'm not saying that don't do a job. Most people say that they are stressed because of their workload. That's not true. You are stressed because of mental vexation. If you are vexed and if you want to come out of it, now you are stressed. This is the reason. Without vexation, you can't be stressed. Everybody works with enchantment. But everyone won't be stressed. If you are stressed, that means you are vexed. If you are vexed, that means you have a desire. You have a burning desire. And if you can eradicate your burning desire, then you can eradicate your stress. Just think about this. Because this happened according to theory of cause and effect. When the causes are ready, the effect appears. Your stress is the effect. It has many causes. Your desire is one of them. Mental vexation is one of them. Attachment is one of them. And ignorance is one of them. Then if you have all these causes, you will have the effect, which is stress. Therefore, if you want to come out of that, if you want to eradicate that, you need to eradicate all the causes. The main cause is ignorance. Your belief about the world. You believe that this world is pleasurable. When you believe that, then your mind always accepts it. And your mind wants to experience it. Because it thinks that this world is pleasurable. Okay, if the world is pleasurable, then let me experience it. That's how it thinks. But the problem is, world is not pleasurable. You can't find any pleasurable thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen. You may have associated everything in the world. You may have been to every country in the world. But you can't find even a single thing which is pleasurable. But you still believe that the world is pleasurable. Because you experience this. You experience pleasure. Pleasure exists, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure exists. But world is not pleasurable. Then you need to identify these two first. Pleasure and pleasurable. You can experience pleasure. Let me tell you about it. You can experience pleasure. Because pleasure is reduction of vexation. That means if the mental vexation is reduced, if mental vexation is reduced, pleasure is created. This is how you can experience pleasure. You should be vexed first. Otherwise, you can't experience pleasure. Because when you are vexed and you do something to come out of it, at that time your vexation reduces. Then pleasure is created. This is the pleasure. Therefore, pleasure exists. That doesn't say that the world is pleasurable. If the world is pleasurable, try to find a single thing which is pleasurable. Let's talk about this chair. Sometimes you think that this chair is also pleasurable. Because when you keep on standing, your leg hurts. Then you sit down. Then you sit on the chair. Then you feel pleasure. Now you believe that this chair is pleasurable. Just think about this. How can you think like that? When you keep on standing, your leg hurts. It's a physical pain. When a physical pain reduces, again, pleasure is created. A mental pain reduces, pleasure is created. Now you can see, you had a physical pain, it reduces, therefore you got pleasure. You felt pleasure. But this chair didn't give you pleasure. Then why do you think that this chair is pleasurable? That's the problem. That's the main cause of your vexation or your stress. But the problem is, you always want to keep these things with you. You always want to keep your desires with you, your attachments with you. But you don't want their results. You don't like results. But you need causes. That's why you can't come out of this vexation, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you can't eradicate your stress. No point in doing all these things. If you have a desire, then you will have stress. If you really want to come out of your vexation, if you really want to come out of your stress, then we need to do something to eradicate ignorance. Due to ignorance, you get all these things. That's why you don't have to work hard. You just need to understand the dharma. But now, when you have a desire, because of stress, because of mental pain, because of mental vexation, you have to work hard. You work round the clock. I know that. Because I used to do. You do the same. You do the same, ladies and gentlemen. You do the same. You work every day. You work your fingers to the bone to come out of your vexation. But you think that you are going to achieve your goals. That's how you think. And you can say that I'm a goal oriented person. Therefore, I'm going to achieve this. Yes, you will achieve this because you are vexed. You can't stop yourself. And you can't stop what you are doing. You can't stop that because you are vexed. You have to work hard, or you have to feel the mental pain. You have to be patient. You have to tolerate your mental pain. You have to tolerate your mental vexation, stress. Otherwise, you have to do something to come out of it. There are two ways. You have only two ways. Either you have to tolerate or work hard to achieve it. But the problem is, when you work hard, you will create something because you wanted something. Now you work hard and created it. Now you have that, but still you have mental vexation because you still need it. You still want it. Can't you see that you don't understand the problem yet? If you have understood the problem, you will straight away eradicate your desire. At least you will find or you will seek for some method to eradicate your desires if you have understood the problem. But you haven't seen your problem, ladies and gentlemen, because to see your problem, you need the Lord Buddha's dharma. Otherwise, you will see a different thing. You never see the problem. To see the problem, you should have rudimental understanding about the theory of cause and effect. Because if you don't know about the theory of cause and effect, then you will look for a solution for a different problem. Because you can't see the real problem. Here, you have seen the problem. What was your problem? Stress. What was your problem? Depression. What was your problem? Mental vexation, suffering. But these are not the problem. Your main problem is you can't stop getting desires. Desires are created in your mind. There are some desires you don't like. Sometimes some people have sexual feelings with their relatives, which they don't like. But the desire is created. Now he has to come out of that, or either he has to come out of this, or he has to tolerate it. How can you tolerate this? Because you are vexed. You will tolerate it until a certain point. After that, you can't stop yourself. Then you will do something. Sometimes people get a desire to kill their relatives. Sometimes people get a desire to harm their loved ones. Because it is a desire, ladies and gentlemen. That desire is created. That is the problem. But most of the time you get good desires. Therefore you are okay with that. But from time to time you get harmful desires. Harmful to you as well as the society. But you can't stop yourself. You have seen many people like serial killers. They also have a burning desire in their mind. I want to kill everyone in this city. Look, it's also a desire. I'm definitely sure that you think that, oh, this desire is very dangerous. If this desire is very dangerous, what about your desires? Because you also can do anything to achieve your desire. Because when the desire is created, vexation also created, stress also created. Therefore, you need to do something. On the other hand, stress is created if you can't achieve your goals. You try, first of all, you try to achieve your goals, but after that, when you realize that achieving this target is impossible, then again you will be stressed. But you don't want to give up your target. Because everyone says, don't give up. Even though you die, don't give up. Because if you do this, they can celebrate it. They don't want to think about you. They pay you. And they ask you to produce what you are going to produce, ladies and gentlemen. Then they can buy it. They don't care about your mental health. They don't care about your happiness. They only care about their happiness. They think that they can be happy when you produce this. When you provide your service, they think that they can be happy. Therefore, they ask you to provide your service. They ask you to produce your product. They don't mind whether you are vexed or not. Therefore, you don't want to give up because they always ask, hang in there, don't give up. You are stressed, you are vexed, but still you don't give up because they ask you not to give up. You don't have a friend to explain the Dharma, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I told you at that time, not at that time, all the time, you are destitute. Without the Dhamma, you are destitute. Without the Dhamma, you don't have any path to come out of this. This is a huge problem, whether you have seen it or not. It's killing you. But you don't want to give up. I'm not saying that you had to give everything up. You don't have to do that. But if you attach yourself to something, that's really dangerous. Because attachment creates suffering. If you are suffering right now, cause of suffering is attachment. That means if you attach yourself to something, it creates suffering, stress, and vexation, anger, sorrow. I can tell 1,000 things. Now you can see that if you attach yourself to something, it's killing you. But the problem is, how can we stop attaching ourselves to the world and stay in the world? Because you need to have a job, because you need 4 requisites. Therefore, you need some money. To earn money, you should have a job. But how can we do a job without attachment? How can we have a desire without attachment? But I can't really use that word desire, because when I use that word desire, actually desire is always connected with attachment. But sometimes you want to finish your job today. You have a job and you are going to finish it. This is also a desire. But if you attach yourself to that goal, at that moment, you are vexed. But have that desire without attachment. That means you can think that I will finish this job today. That's fine. But if you attach yourself to that goal, then at that time, at that moment, you are vexed. Now, actually, you can't finish your job because you are vexed. You can't work properly because you always think that, can I finish this? Can I finish this? Then you may ask, how can we have a desire? How can we have a desire without attachment? That's why you need the Dhamma, because the Lord Buddha's Dhamma is to eradicate attachment. You may have heard about Noble Eightfold Path. This Noble Eightfold Path is to eradicate attachment. But before that, you need to understand the Dhamma. That's why if you are stressed, you need to understand the Dhamma. If you are stressed, no point in having a doctor. No point in having a psychiatrist. But if this is the only solution, go and meet him. Pay him. And do what he asks you to do. But remember this, you have all the causes. You are going to eradicate the effect. Actually, you are going to do something impossible. That's why you can't come out of this. You have been trying, but you couldn't succeed. You are still trying because you have your desire and you want to eradicate your vexation. You put wood or you put fuel to the fire, but you don't want the fire. You don't want the flame, but you add fuel to the fire because you enjoy it. But it burns you, but you enjoy it. You like adding fuel to the fire because you want to see a blazing fire. But the problem is it burns you, ladies and gentlemen. It burns you. Therefore, if you want to stop this, then you should stop adding fuel to the fire. That means you should be able to control your desires. Otherwise, you can't stop these things. Then you will be vexed over and over again. And finally, you will decide to commit suicide one day. Nobody can come out of this. Therefore, please try to understand. We have a method to eradicate your vexation. We have a method to eradicate your attachment. That's the dharma of the Lord Buddha. We found it. And we have been practicing it. We have experienced it. We are not stressed. We also have to do something. We also have to do a lot of work. We run a monastery here. People come to the monastery to practice the path. And there are more than 150 monks live in our monastery. Then we need to teach them. We need to look after them. We need to provide for them. We also work hard. But we are not stressed. Because we don't have any desire. We don't have any expectation, ladies and gentlemen. Even when I speak to you right now, I don't have any expectation you to understand this Dhamma even. Sometimes you will understand, sometimes not. Then if you can't understand today, then you will listen to tomorrow's sermon and you will understand it. But if I have an expectation, then I'll be vexed. Then why should I do that? But the problem is you can't stop having expectations because of desires. The main problem, because of attachment. You can't stop attaching yourself to things. Whatever it is. First and foremost thing you do is you attach yourself to that object or act or whatever it is. Because if you think that it's pleasurable, then your mind attaches itself to that object. Therefore, if you want to come out of this, let's understand the Dhamma. When we understand the Dhamma, we can eliminate ignorance. Now these things happen because of ignorance. Your mind is so ignorant about the world. I'm not talking about this physical world, ladies and gentlemen, the reality of the world. Your mind is so ignorant about the reality of the world. Therefore, if we can learn about the reality, then your mind never attaches itself to anything. Then if you don't have attachment, that means you don't have any expectation. That means you don't have any wanting. If you don't have any wanting, you are not vexed. Then you don't have to do anything to come out of your vexation. Then you won't be stressed. Therefore, if you don't like stress, and if you really want to come out of your stress and be happy, then we need to break the chain. That means you need to eradicate vexation. You need to eradicate desire. You need to eradicate attachment. Then you need to eradicate your ignorance. Therefore, to eradicate ignorance, you need to enlighten yourself. To enlighten yourself, you need the Dhamma. That's why I told you, this is the only cure you have, ladies and gentlemen. You have to enlighten yourself. To enlighten yourself, you need the Dhamma. Therefore, if you can understand the Dhamma and contemplate the Dhamma after that, then you can realize the world through the Dhamma. Then you never attach yourself to this world. Therefore, let's break the chain from the beginning. That means let's eradicate ignorance. To do so, we need the Dhamma, then we have the Dhamma, and we have been practicing the Dhamma, therefore we have a lot of experience about this. Therefore, we can definitely help you. If you are stressed because of any reason, sometimes because of your family matters, because of your social matters, because of your work matters, because of your workload, because of your job, whatever it is, we can help you. You don't have to destroy your life. You don't have to commit suicide. You don't have to take drugs. People do all these things because of their stress. You know that. That's why if you are stressed, your future, I don't have to say, you know your future. Because if you are stressed and if you don't do something to come out of that, then you will be drug addict or you will commit suicide one day. Therefore, we will help you to come out of this. We need only one thing from you, just to understand the Dharma. When you understand the Dharma, you will come and join with us. If you can be with us, then we will help you to cleanse your mind. We will help you to cleanse all the defilements in your mind. And if you are free from defilements, you will be free from suffering. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be with you all. Thank you.